Who can remind us, I guess I should show, today is the 17th, by the way. Your homework is 9-3. I think it's combined with 9-4. I don't think there's very many homework assignments in 9, but yeah, it'll either be just 9-3 or a combined 9-3, 9-4. But who can remind us what we talked about at the end of last week, dealing with solving inequalities? That is like the dangerous thing. It should set off an alarm in your head. It should make you really aware of what you're doing because something special has to happen. Xavier?
If you're dividing negative numbers, you have to flip the sign.
Now, is it just division?
No.
Division or multiplication. So, check out up here my example on the on the TV, but the smart slides. We first get rid of the positive 8. So we subtract 8 off of both sides because the 8 is positive. Even though it's held together with a subtraction, that doesn't matter. The sign in front of the term, so there's actually a positive in front of the 8, so we subtract 8 from both sides. Any questions on why we did the subtract 8? Then we have a -3 times your y. To get rid of the -3, because it's multiplying, we divide. But when we divide the negative, my inequality symbol has to flip directions, and what started as greater than or equal to ends up as less than or equal to. Any questions? All right. So today, we take our adding and subtracting skills for solving and our multiplication division skills for solving, put them all together, and solve 2 steps. Justin?
Is there a try question on the picture of the guy bowling?
So, if you read the question, the superstar athlete, Johnny, that jerk dude who, always thinks he's better than everyone, he's also a good bowler. So, he says you can each double your score. So, let's go ahead and highlight some of this stuff. You can each double your score and include 10 more, and I'll still top your score. Now, remember, bowling, you do want more points, as opposed to running, you want a lower time. So, Johnny says, I can double my score and add 10 more. I can double my score and add 10 more, and he's still going to beat me. So if he's still going to beat me, how's my score relate to his score? What is it? Less than, right? If he wins, my score is less than his score, so my score is going to be less than his. Now, what is Johnny's score, though? Hayden? 300, right here above the bowling lane. You can see his score was 300. So the first thing we do, please change colors or use a highlighter to show that we're doing this to both steps or both sides. What do I get rid of first, Jack?
Get rid of the 10 on both sides.
Yeah, I get rid of the positive 10 or the plus 10. So to do that, we subtract. If you need a highlighter or anything, come up and grab it. That gives me 2x is less than 290. Maylee, what do I do then to get the x by itself? Divide by? Yep, the 2 is what we want to get rid of. So we divide by the 2. Break this up. Do 200 divided by 2, then 90 divided by 2. I get x is less than 145. So think back to when we went bowling. Was your score less than 145? If so, Johnny's statement was right. If your score was better than 145, I had a game that was above 145 because I've got some practice, then Johnny's statement would have been wrong. But if you scored less than 145, yeah, Johnny's a pretty good athlete. He's got you beat. Any questions? Not about bowling. Any questions about this process?
I'm gonna be in one day.
Yes.
I still don't get one to flip the sign.
only if what we are doing to both sides, so what I a lot of times write in red, or I always write in a different color, if that is multiplication or division with a negative. So what I'm doing, what I write in red, that would have to be a negative number. And we'll see examples of that today. We'll see examples of that today. Yep. Abby?
So doesn't it have to be a negative, like, times a positive? Wouldn't it have to
No.
be?
It's just what we're doing on both sides. It doesn't matter what the other number is. It doesn't matter what the other number is if what we are doing is multiplication or division with a negative.
So it just has to be a negative in general.
So we want to write these inequalities and then solve. And I still don't think we have any of the flip situations here. 9, 3, we kind of ease back into things. So 9 plus 5.5 times a number. So if I just write this out, 9 plus 5.5. Sorry, I was about to write that weird. 5.5 times a number. How do I represent something times a number? How would I write that, Casey? Yeah. Ooh, yeah, so X or N or some variable, because I don't know what this number is. Some people are trying to choose. No, you don't know it, so we use a variable. Is more than 50. So, more than 50. TJ, what would be the first thing that I would do here to solve that? We got to get rid of that positive 9. So we subtract 9 on both sides. I get 5.5 n is greater than 41. Is there a way that I could write the 5.5 to make it easier? And there's actually multiple ways. I've got choices here. Andrew?
Could you write it as instead of a mixed fraction, just a fraction?
I could-
Proper fraction?
I could write it as an improper or as a decimal. So if I wrote this as a decimal, 5.5, then all I do on my left and right sides is divide by 5.5. If we wrote it as an improper, then I would multiply by the reciprocal to cancel out that fraction. N comes out to be greater than. Who's got it? Someone's got to calculate for me. No, I don't think so. It should be under 10.
Oh wait, it would probably be like 7.
You have it, Reagan?
7.4554.
So that repeats forever.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
That number at the end of the screen is a lie. The number at the end of the screen is rounded. Always remember the number at the end of the screen is rounded. So if the 4 or 5 repeats forever, we just put the bar over it. A lunch special costs $9. And the Egyptology Club can spend at most 50.
What? That's expensive.
How many lunch specials can they order if they also want to share a dessert that's $5.50? Like there's a tray of brownies or something. Brandon, what? No, he left. Oh, you're over here. I forget that now you're on this side of the room. Brandon, what would be the first thing you'd write here? And there's options. So. Sure. Are we ordering one lunch special or multiple? Multiple. So I can't just write 9. I'd write 9 and some variable. So we could say 9 times L for lunch specials. Plus, now, I don't just order lunch specials. Izzy, what else do I do? share dessert. So we also have to order dessert for $5.50. Now, when I look at what I can spend, Justin, if we have $50, what can we spend? Or, yeah, so less than or all of it. Kylie, what do I do first here? Yeah, get rid of that positive 550 by subtracting it. That leaves me with 9 times my lunch specials is not 50. Make sure you do the subtraction. We get 44.50. Because take away the $5, then take away the 50 cents. And Bella, the last thing I do here to get the number of lunch specials. We divide by 9 and divide by 9. I get my lunch specials are less than or equal to. Now I know that 45 divided by 9 would be 5. So this is less than 5. It's 4 point something. 4.9, yada, yada, yada. Don't care because realistically, how many lunch specials can we order? If L is less than or equal. Less than or equal. Andrew, what were you going to say? We can get 4. 5 will not work. It's not less than. You want to help me push-ups? I'll start thinking about it. So we can get, or we got, or I mean, if it asks how many lunch specials, we got 4, and that's improper grammar. So I'm going to fix that. So we could say 4 at most. Because I don't have to get all 4. I could get 3 or 2 or 1 or none. We could decide we don't want lunch and we're just going to split that dessert.
That's not very healthy.
It's not. But if you travel, like when we go to Chicago and we go around Columbus, sorry, my orientation was off and that did not capture, but hopefully I'll get it this afternoon. When we teach this, I'll make sure to capture that. Yeah, you have to make those decisions. What do I eat? What's important? Where do I spend my money? You are going to read a 50-page chapter book about the early Egyptians at a rate of 5.5 pages per minute. Now, that's really, really fast. Yeah, that's insanely fast. So it might be like a small, like a guidebook sort of thing or something. But, so after how many minutes will you have fewer than 9 pages left? So, how do we even set this up? I want, like, pages. I need fewer than 9. So I guess I can, like, relate pages left. What we're really relating is pages left. And what? Abby, do you want to help me out here?
Aren't you doing pages left? And aren't you also doing the pages per minute?
Well, I do know that. I'm going to use it. But right now,
wait,
I want pages left.
Like, how many pages you have left if you, like, after you have fewer than 9, how many is that?
So I want my pages left.
That's like an unknown number.
Ooh, well, it compares to 9.
Wouldn't it be like -9?
What symbol compares these two is what we're trying to figure out.
Oh, wait.
If I want to talk about the pages I have left being fewer than 9.
Wouldn't it be less than?
Yeah, it's going to be that your pages left are less than 9. Now, when I start reading this book, how many pages do I have left? 50. So to start out with, we have 50 pages. Then am I adding or subtracting how many pages I have left? Subtracting how quickly? Or how? 5.5.
Like 5.5.
Every minute, and that's still less than 9. This one's kind of tricky. Shane, what would be the first thing that I do here? Yeah, we undo any addition or subtraction. Here's the dangerous thing, though, people. A lot of people, give me your eyes for a second. A lot of people are looking at this, and they're saying, oh, we add 50. This 50 is positive. So please put a plus out in front of it. It's actually positive. So to get rid of it, we got to subtract. Do not get scared about the negative number on the right-hand side. That's okay. So we get negative 41. Now, Lily, what do I need to get rid of here? The negative 5.5. How? And when we divide by the negative, that will grab my inequality symbol and flip it around.
Yay!
So this now becomes m is greater than 4.9 something, I think. Because these are the same numbers that we had used over there.
Wait, wouldn't it be like 7?
What'd you get?
7. Yeah,
Sorry, maybe our division's a little bit different than the other side.
Wouldn't it, yeah, I think it would be 7.
Oh, sorry, our numbers, yeah,
If
never
it
mind.
was 40, it would be 8.
7 point what? Oh, that repeating one. So this tells you the minutes will be greater than 7.45. So approximately, how long could we say it might take them? 8 minutes. Sure, if I plug in 8, 8 is greater than 7.45. So 8 could work. Or 9, or 10, or 20, or 30, or like an hour if I was reading it.
5.
I am a slow reader. Sorry guys, I gotta reorient this. Try the got it on your own. This keeps clearing instead of capturing, so I need to fix this.
Got it is really weird.
It's actually an old one that I just got a new lid for. If I've ever talked to you guys about these being indestructible, this one got dropped off a 50-foot rock tower and dented. But it did not break, it dented.
Where were you on a
Boy Scout camp. Used to work at camp. That's actually where the head of our scout camp was the first person to ever ask me, like, have you thought about becoming a teacher? Because he saw that I had fun with teaching the merit badges. Hayden, how did you write out half of a number t plus 25.9 is at most, that's what the tricky part is, 203.56. So what would you write first? So if we break this up, half of a number t, how would we write half of a number t? CJ? Yeah, we could either write 1/2 of t, or you could write t divided by 2 because that's going to be half of it. Now I'm going to make it easy and just do the 1/2 t. Yeah, you could also write 0.5 t, that's fine. Plus 25.9. Well, hopefully we all know how to write that. Plus 25.9. You could make some tea with that sassafras. If you know what I'm talking about, you get points for actually knowing that. Not points, but whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter. You can actually, like, sassafras is a plant. You can make tea with it. Yeah, but the joke is she sass, like, attitude. So wait, so Hayden, help me out with this part. At most,
I'm trying to learn.
what does this statement, at most, actually translate to? Yeah, I can have up to that much or under. So we have less than or equal 203.56. Very good. Guys, that's where people make their mistakes, is converting that inequality statement to an inequality symbol. So that at most means less than or equal to. Like if your parents say, all right, you can play Xbox for at most 2 hours. They're not going to let you play for 8 hours. It's up to 2 hours.
That is way too long.
First thing we want to do here, Julia, what would you do first in trying to get the t by itself?
We would get rid of the positive 25.9.
Yeah, we get rid of the positive 25.9 by
Dividing 25.9.
is this multiplied by your t? We want to subtract it. I get half t is less than or equal to 170. What is it? 177.6? 0.66? How, Flynn, Flynn stepped out. Michaela, how would I turn a half into a whole? Multiply. Sorry, I can't hear you. So how many halves would it take to make a whole? 2, which when the fraction situation, any fraction could be gotten rid of by multiplying by its reciprocal. So we multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction. Does my inequality symbol change? No. What I multiplied by was a positive. So I have t is less than or equal to. Double this out, it's like, yeah. I think you cut this in half. We need to double it. Shane? Point what? 32? Any questions on our solution? Solve this inequality right down here. Please write out the steps as you go. I don't know why you're being like this now. It was fine for accelerated 7.
I thought we were.
Don't worry, I like you guys.
Oh, thank you. I like you too, Mr. Hudson.
We should all be solving this. What do you do first to both sides? What do you do second to both sides? If you finish that, please try to graph it. Be careful with your graphing. You do not remember the specifics. Wait till we do it together, or make your best bet, but make sure you're working in pencil. So, Andrew, what's the first thing that you want to get rid of in this problem? The 12, because it's added or subtracted on with it. How do I get rid of it? Just subtract it off of each side. That gives me x divided by -3 is less than 16.9. Xavier, what do I do now?
So I think that's division.
So yeah, it's being divided right now. How do I undo that? So we want to multiply by what?
16.
What is it that we're trying to get rid of?
Oh, 3,
The negative 3, right? So that's what we multiply by. Hey, class, what is it that we're multiplying by?
The reciprocal.
Well, not necessarily reciprocal here, kind of. If I wrote that, so just to talk about that for a second, Abby, we could write this as this, 1 over negative 3 times the x. It's not right now, though, so we're not really thinking reciprocals. We're just thinking undue division. We multiply. But when we multiply by the negative, then Grace, what do I get as my answer here? Careful, when we multiply by the negative, this multiplication by the negative will grab my inequality symbol, flip it around, x is greater than negative, what do we get? 50.7?
That was a perfect 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Then to graph this. Flynn, do you remember back last week when we were graphing inequalities? A little bit. What would be our first step? If we've already solved this, what do I do first to try to put that answer on the graph? So I can help you. Have we found a reference number? Like, forget about the graph for a minute. Have we found a solution or solutions to our problem? Yeah, negative 50.7, right? So now we want to show that on the graph. That negative 50.7 being the number that we got has to be shown on our graph. How do I show that that's the number we got? Yeah, so to graph that point, I make a point or a circle. Now, when I go to graph that circle, I have to decide, is it open or is it shaded in? Do you remember how to make that decision? Let's verify with it. You want to ask one of your classmates?
Okay, so wouldn't it be open because the x is not a known number?
So this is saying x is bigger or greater, but we'll just use this import, bigger than negative 50.7.
But that's not a
So could x be negative 50.7? No. So this stays open, Justin.
Control the arrow pointing to the 60. It can be anything bigger than that.
But
No,
if it's
that's not
bigger,
Oh.
But it's less than.
we shade this way. Because remember, bigger means higher value. Do not just think of it as bigger number. This bigger means higher value. And that's why I wrote bigger there. I don't want you guys to fall into the trap of looking for the bigger number necessarily. Higher value means it's got to be up the number line. So x has to be up the number line from negative 50.7. Do you see now why it's open? That it does not have the or equal. So here, since there's no or equal, my circle is open.
Yeah, so simple way to decide it would just be if it has a line under it.
If it's got the line under it, you shade the circle. If it doesn't have the line under it, you don't shade the circle. It's a nice, easy trick.
Oh, I
Think of it as
thought
like
it
a
was-
little cupboard. Like if it doesn't, if it's not, the cupboard isn't closed, then
Okay. Yeah, whatever memory tricks work for you guys. You got to think up your own memory tricks. I can only tell you what has worked for me. Abby?
I think what kind of tricks people is if they think it's a bigger number, they would say negative 60, but negative 60 is actually like less.
That's where you have to
than-
like fix your brain for thinking
Yeah.
bigger numbers. What does that actually mean?
'Cause I know a lot of my friends used to.
So Jack has now hired an assistant.
Yeah.
Jack, you know. Let's go
Jack.
zoom into the future. Jack's hired an assistant because to do magic, you have to have an assistant. Justin. All right. So Justin is Jack's assistant. Hopefully, you're not one of the assistant where you're the one who gets locked into the tank full of water and stuff like that. But so you make a whopping $10.60 an hour. But you get benefits and you have insurance and you have dental, so that's all good. So if
You need a health
So, if Justin has already saved $53.70, and he wants to save, Justin, what's something you want to buy? That would be like $165.
Oh, wifey pillow.
Sure, whatever that is.
Wait, what?
You mean like Wi-Fi?
No, a wifey pillow.
Okay, we're not going to go deep into that because we don't have time. But we want to figure out how much does Justin need to work. So first thing we want to set up is he needs to save at least $165. What does it mean if we're saving at least? Lily, how would I write, what inequality symbol would I use to compare save and 165?
At least would be like greater than save. No.
Greater than or equal to, because if it's at least 165 works. You guys with me? Because Andrew, you're turned around, so it sure doesn't look like you're with me. You got a question? Yeah, so we're moving on. Do we have the maturity to move on? Otherwise, I just can't tell stories to go with the problems and we just answer questions. I'd rather be able to have an enjoyable class where we get to laugh and tell some stories, but we got to be able to move on. So can we move on? Okay. How are we saving? Because that left side, we got to fill in some values there. So when we look at how we're saving, Abby?
So how we're saving, wouldn't that be H? Like, wouldn't it be like $53.70 each?
Ooh, that's not what we make per hour.
Or wait, no, it would be $10.60.
So this is how I'm making money,
And
is 1060H.
yeah, times H, and wouldn't it be plus the savings?
And we already have, $53.70.
So save would be 53. I'm so professional.
Is greater than or equal to 165. Joe, what would be the first thing that you want to do here? Yeah, get rid of the money that he already saved, because we don't need to make that $53.70. We already did. That gives me that the money I need to make hourly
100.
is greater than or equal to, what is it?
$111.30.
$111.30.
Damn, so professional.
Then to get the amount of hours by itself, Reagan, last thing we do here?
You
Divide by that 10.60. And Justin will have to work greater than or equal to, oh, we're out of cards. Who's got it? Andrew? You say 1035?
No, 10.5.
10.5?
Should be 10.
So Justin has to work at least 10 and a half more hours. So he could work 11 or 12 or whatever, but yeah, that's not too bad.
I'm quitting as soon as I get my life together.
Once you get your life together and you go to college, you're just going to quit.
Any questions? Try the got it. Now I will warn you, how many sides are there to a rectangle? How many lengths are there? Like if you have length and width. Yeah. And how many widths are there? So think about that as you start to solve this problem in the got it. If you are confused, I will come around and help you. He's got 24 feet of rope. He's trying to box off a rectangle. I've never seen the magician in Epcot in Disney.
No.
So sometimes street magicians will box off an area for like safety, like don't come in my box sort of thing. So this would be if he's trying to make a box where he's saying this is my space, don't come in it. And so if you go to Epcot, back at like in Italy or right around that area, like there's certain times this magician performs there, like he's a street performer. So try this. What could be the widths of his rectangles?
Those are some amazing squiggly lines, Mr. Hudson.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Pretty professional. You're not wearing your new glasses, Mr. Hudson?
These are one of my new pairs.
Oh,
I got 2 new pairs. I told you one looks extremely similar to what I used to have.
you wore the other pair on Friday. The one with, like, navy blue.
Yeah, the tan and the orange weren't quite working together this morning. So Izzy, when I start to think about this, what's the problem tell me that I can use? 24 feet of rope, so I set that up. So I've got 2 lengths and 2 widths. So my rectangle, right? 2 lengths, 2 widths. How will that compare to the 24? What inequality symbol would relate these things? Yeah. You're not certain. I got another leading question. So, could you use all of your rope? Like when you're making your rectangle, could you use all of it? Why not? Can I lay out all of the rope that I brought with me? Why not? You're overthinking. Stop thinking about the problem. I have 24 feet of rope coiled up. I'm going to make a rectangle. Can I use all of my rope? Yeah, right. Like, there's no reason I can't use all of it to make the biggest rectangle possible. So this could be equal. Could I use more than the rope that I brought? Casey? Could I use more than the rope that I brought? If it doesn't exist, I can't use it. So if I can't use more, I can have less. So this is really your perimeter. So, like, if you're trying to figure out what we did, that's perimeter. Your perimeter could be 24. It could be less than. I then can also use, Jack, what else is the problem telling me that I can use?
The length is 7.5 feet.
The length is 7.5, so where I see the length, I can plug that in and say 2 times that 7.5 plus the 2 widths is less than or equal to 24. 2 times 7.5 I know is 15.
Oh my gosh.
Justin, what would I do first here? Reagan?
You would subtract 15 on both sides.
Be careful. The 15 is the positive value. That's what we subtract. That then gives us 2w is less than or equal to 9?
Wait, why can't you subtract 2w? Is that
8.5. How?
Oh, wait, I did an extra
So erase and fix it, because I don't want you looking at that on your homework. Maylee, what's the last thing I do to get W by itself here? I divide by 2, and we get W, write this down please, is less than or equal to 4.5 feet. So your width could be 4 feet, could be 3 feet, could be 2 feet, anything less than or equal to 4.5. So it could be 4.5 feet if we use the entire rope. That's where we'll stop. We might finish those problems tomorrow. We'll probably start there. Thank you guys and have a wonderful day. Try your homework. Come to class with questions, please.
Questions, comments, concerns.